Hey, what up everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today on my lunch. It's just about to be finished up, and at the top of the hour here, Wrestling DVD News, the exclusive source of this video, released some awesome news, basically saying that today, being what was supposed to be the 50th birthday of Owen Hart, we're going to get an Owen Hart DVD coming up into the future. This is something that has been widely talked about as a DVD that needed to be made. There's a ton of fans of Owen Hart that watched wrestling throughout the 90s and really liked him. He was a standout. It's sad to say that maybe the top time that he was with the company was around WrestleMania 10, when probably he had his biggest match in the company. Wrestling his brother in the opening match of the card, beating Bret on the same night Bret would beat Yokozuna to become the champion, which was the fuel to the fire of the Owen Hart versus Bret Hart rivalry. Definitely Bret was the biggest rival of Owen. And you think of all the, I'm trying to think of a good way to say this, because rise and fall, people are going to hate you, the ups and downs. There's no real way to say it, but with Owen Hart, definitely he was a guy that was on the rise. He was on the ups in the company, and definitely with the documentary that will be coming out, you'll find out that the one thing that was really blocking Owen from getting to the top of the company and becoming champion is the Clique. The Clique didn't believe in Owen. They didn't want to put Owen over. Definitely, if you think about everything that went down, with Bret Hart, Owen wanted to leave, but Vince believed in Owen being a good wrestler, and knowing that he needed to keep a Canadian star inside of the company, he wasn't going to let all of the Harts go to WCW at that time. They needed to have him there. And the plan, if you were watching Raw at that time, or if you've gone back and you're watching those Monday Night Raws in the Attitude Era collection on the WWE Network, you can see that they definitely were building up to an Owen Hart versus Shawn Michaels feud for the championship. And Shawn was, he was on the run. He definitely didn't want to face Owen. They definitely made it look like Shawn was scared to fight Owen. And they blew that feud off, and it never really got the light that it should have, especially if you can think of, I believe that it's on the DX playing poker, and they're playing strip poker at ringside. I think that's the Raw that Owen makes his return after the screw job in Montreal, and he goes after him, and I don't think they let him say, "I'm going to get revenge for my brother," because I think they were trying to put space in between Bret leaving, and they didn't want Owen just giving a full-on commercial to switch the channel and watch WCW, even though probably at that time he wasn't even there. But if you think about Owen Hart coming in, he was a really, really good wrestler. Some people even out there say that he was better than his brother was. And some people say that he just should have been a lot more than he ever was. But he came into the company. He wrestled the New Japan tournaments over there. He came into WWE. I think he either made his debut or at least his first pay-per-view as the Blue Blazer, going up against Mr. Perfect at WrestleMania 5. And from there, they were really trying to do something with Owen, but I don't think they really had faith in him yet. You think about the New Foundation, where he was tag teaming up with Jim the Anvil Neidhart. That's sort of played into the feud with him and Bret, where they just try to plug him in and just be the new Bret Hart, even though Bret's now having a singles run, and just try to take over where Bret left off. And then they put him into the Coco Beware tag team with High Energy. When you go back and you watch some of the old pay-per-views on the WWE Network, they'll sneak up on you and they'll surprise you, and they'll have some good matches. Owen's a good wrestler. Coco's a good wrestler. Coco definitely was on the later end of his career, but Owen brought high energy to those matches and really gave it his all. And some of them will really surprise you. From there, Bret started wrestling as the singles guy, but I think that Owen really got his steam is when the Hart Foundation came together as a team. And I know that he was playing second fiddle at that time to Bret, and he was going after the European Championship or the Intercontinental Championship a lot. But the time that he was, in the Nation of Domination, the Hart Foundation, he never got to be that top guy with the top billing, but he definitely was a really, really great wrestler. And I think with the documentary, you're going to hear a lot of things. I know with the 50th anniversary of WWE DVD that came out, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. I think it's been out for a while, but they actually did a chapter on Owen Hart's death, and that was really the first time that it ever came out and they ever really talked about it. And it was really definitely moving and informative. So many things you hear about that night at Over the Edge in Kansas City. It's a lot of hearsay, and you know, some people believe one thing, some people believe another, but at least WWE was able to go on the record and talk about what they remembered and tell the story that they want people to know about what happened, and you know that there was an accident. You know, I've listened to a lot of the things on the Wrestling Observer. At least once a year, somebody will write in a question to the mailbag asking about that night, and Dave talks about you know, the findings that he found from his investigation to write his story about it, and it's basically the WCW people who did Sting's entrance were there, and they were basically trying to do. The story sounds like they were trying to play WWE off of WCW, or maybe just get an extra payday, saying that they were already in Kansas City. You're in Kansas City. Do you want to use us? And last minute, basically, they put together this thing where Owen was going to get lowered into the ring as the Blue Blazer, and he was going to play into the match and the character. And it was a huge accident, and I think that a lot of people mostly remember that as what they remember from Owen. But having a collection of Owen Hart things, all in one collection, is going to be really, really good. And Guy was a great wrestler. Guy, you know, I think a lot of people think about the promo from the Royal Rumble when he's yelling at Brett about kicking his leg out of his leg. But except for that, the guy had good promos as well. I mean, he did mess up, you know, that one time, and that's what mostly, you know, everybody remembers. But, you know, from reading the story on Wrestling DVD News, definitely you can tell that it's going to be awesome, because the Hart family is going to be involved. I know that, you know, basically his wife had been in a long series of years of lawsuits against Vince and WWE, trying to blame them for Owen's death. And I don't know if she was trying to get everything out of it, but, you know, she was really distraught after what happened, and she didn't want WWE to be using Owen's death to be making any money or pushing him forward. It's one of the reasons why there hasn't been a DVD. It's one of the reasons why Owen hasn't been inducted into the Hall of Fame. It's been a big barrier. And I remember a while back a story coming out saying that the lawsuit had been sort of squashed. It was one of the things that WWE wanted to get out of the way before the network launched. They were able to fix the trademarks with the Panda World Wildlife Foundation. They were able to get everything squashed with the Owen Hart deal. You know, they weren't even really supposed to be selling Owen Hart, you know, merchandise or making DVDs or videos in the sort of agreement that they had made. And, you know, that they came out with the Hart Family Dynasty DVD. They came out with the King of Hearts DVD. Some people thought that he would be, you know, sort of Chris Benoit off of anthologies like the Survivor Series or the SummerSlam deal, and he was included. And people thought that there would be hot water involved with that, and that there would be some sort of a lawsuit. Maybe those DVDs would be pulled and they would come up rare, but they pulled through and they're still here. So we'll find out what goes on, but I'm looking forward to this. Owen Hart, great wrestler. It's going to be a great documentary. It's probably going to be one of those good tear jerkers, but we're going to learn a lot about the guy in the process.